All right, YouTube. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say real carefully. I've been born and raised in Detroit. Majority of my family has always worked for the big three. My father worked for Ford for like 41 years. My uncles worked for Chrysler General Motors. The union back then was strong, for real. I remember my family during the strikes having to, eat canned goods and whatever while the brothers stood together and picketed and they was on the strike. But the union now has been bought and paid for. And I'm going to prove it to you. Ever since when Obama bailed out the big three, they've been on the debt. Not only the big three, but the union. Union officials have decided to come out and back Biden. They're announcing it. The union officials are backing Biden. You may say, well, what's wrong with that? The Biden administration, ever since Obama, is tied in with the big three and the unions. What do they want to do? Cut overhead. That's why the factories are always laying them off for a week or laying them off here and there. But in the end, they do it to save money. They've been using policies within the big three and especially Chrysler, like FMLA, where they give the people days off or whatever, but they use it in a way to fire them and take their benefits. It's really scandalous how the union is playing it. But you have to talk to people who work in those factories to get a better idea. But guess what? If you think that Biden and those UAW officials that just came out to support him are not looking to replace the workers in those major cities with immigrants, look at the play right in front of your face. They're giving them phones and money and shelter. Eventually, they got to give them jobs. And when they give them jobs, it won't be the $30 an hour and $25 an hour that the people that are in the plants make now. The migrants will start working those jobs for a little above minimum wage. And they won't complain. The union will take their dues like they have been with their whole, how the union works. But these will be migrants working for half the pay that the factory workers are working for now, which makes more money for the corporations, and the union officials get their kickback because they're selling out their workers. Yeah, that's right, I said it. The union is selling out their workers. I seen this coming months ago. A lot of the older ones, they're trying to push them out, buy their pensions, and replace that whole workforce with migrant workers. Now, it's going to be, I ain't talking about your local steward that's at the bottom that he can come out and, because all they really want to do is be big shots at the factory and have a bunch of girlfriends at the plant. You know what I'm saying? Those ones. I'm talking about those ones that's be going to Washington. I ain't talking about that steward, that union steward and them guys that, got a bunch of girlfriends at the plant. I'm talking about those ones close to government. They're selling out their workers. Trust me on that. Why you think the union would come out like this knowing that it's still up in the air and say, we the union, we support Biden? I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember history when the unions came out and supported John F. Kennedy. And then John F. Kennedy came in there and went after the mob because the mob made the unions support John F. Kennedy. This is shady business. If you work in a factory, you work in the big three, you should find out why is your union supporting Biden when he's bringing in a cheap labor force from South America. You know they messed the union up when they created NAFTA, the North American Trade Agreement. Think about it. The unions have come out and say way before November, that they supporting Biden. While Biden is trying to keep that border open for that cheap labor. Oh, you think I'm just making it up? Think about it. Well, I'm gonna do a reaction to Anton Daniels' video. Anton Daniels is from Detroit. He's lived in Detroit. He's worked in the plants. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do a reaction to what he says and what he thinks about this situation. But this is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary educational purposes. I mean, this blew my mind. So if like y'all can't see the play. He bringing in a whole labor force for the big three with union support. Y'all can't be this slow.
Now, I was following the UAW and I seen when Trump went over to Michigan and then Biden came over at the exact same time and he was moving his knees up and down the picket line, acting like he was advocating on the behalf of the UAW and that he was against corporate greed and pay the workers whatever it is what they want. And we seen Kamala Harris and we seen Biden and he walked the picket lines. Well, guess what? It all worked out for everybody because the UAW has recently thrown their support behind who? Behind who? The ones that they're against for corporate greed. Sean Fain has recently grown a beard. He's no longer babyface Ray. Look, he's starting to get a little bit of culture in him. Look at the picture at the bottom. Look at this one. Look at this one, and then look at that one. He grew him a beard. He got a mustache now. He's saying that I'm more trustworthy. He went and got him a better suit, got him a tie, no more hoodies. And he said that, listen, we throwing our political prowess behind Trump. Behind Biden. That was wishful thinking. Check it out.
When I first came into office, we made some headlines by saying that our endorsements would be earned, not freely given.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this dude running for political office one day, for real, in real life.
We said we'd stand with whoever stood with us in our fight. Not because somebody was nice to us and we want to be nice to them, but because we need to know who's going to put up and who's going to shut up. And going even further, we need to know who's going to stand up with us. And this choice is clear. Joe Biden bet on the American worker, while Donald Trump blamed the American worker. We need to know who's going to sit in the most powerful seat in the world and help us win as a united working class. So if our endorsements must be earned, Joe Biden has earned it.
President Biden hitting the picket lines today in Michigan with thousands of United Auto Workers asking for better pay and benefits.
Very unusual for a president to go to the picket line.
The historic nature of this is lost on no one.
You deserve the significant raise you need. We said
Everybody.
You have to know this is political theater. Your union is selling y'all out to the migrants. For real, you can't see it. You got to be able to see this play.
YouTube pays me $150 every morning before 8 a.m., but
Sure
I've
does.
never even uploaded.
Everybody across the board, all of the ones that they're trying to unionize over at Toyota and Honda and Tesla and everywhere. I have one question for you guys. Are you all still in solidarity even with this endorsement? Or do you guys still think for yourself? I'm just asking a question. I'm just curious. Are you guys in solidarity when it comes to this endorsement for your family, for the women that's in your households? Are they bullying y'all and telling y'all who to vote for? Or do you guys think for yourself? And are you absolutely positively understanding that you need to do your own due diligence and research to think for yourself? Let's continue.
President Biden is also now treating Donald Trump as a Republican nominee, and he just received the endorsement of one of the largest labor unions in the country. As Nancy Cordes reports, the UAW...
Look at that. Look at that photo op right there. Look at that big old beautiful photo op right there. Huh? Did you not see this coming? Was this not a play? Was this not a card in the making? Did I not tell you exactly what was going to happen?
I don't agree with Anton Daniels on a lot of things, but when he right, I gotta say right. This is a play. Black people, y'all can't let it happen. The union is finna back them to help them get in so they can replace y'all in them plants. Y'all in there making $45 an hour, $30 an hour, $35 an hour. With all those benefits. They want a workforce that they can give minimum wage or a little bit over that. That's gonna do your job and ain't gonna complain. Come on now, y'all see the play, don't you?
Look. We're going to come back, which I'm not anticipating for Biden to win for 2024. But let's just say hypothetically, let's play the hypothetical game. Let's say hypothetically he does win, right? What happens if he wins with Sean Fain and his people?
leader took direct aim at former President Trump.
Donald Trump is a scab.
The president of the United Auto Workers didn't just endorse President Biden Wednesday. He also slammed Mr. Biden's opponent for a history of what he described as anti-union policies.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, and that's who he represents.
President Biden had been courting the UAW and its 400,000 members for some time. Last year, he joined striking workers on the picket line, the first sitting president to do so.
Unions built the middle class.
The endorsement could give Mr. Biden a boost in the swing state of Michigan, the heart of the U.S. auto industry. Nationwide, 20% of voters in 2020 said someone in their household belonged to a labor union. 56% of them went for President Biden, 40% for Trump.
I wonder how many of y'all are in a household. I'm just asking a question. I wonder how many of y'all are in a household where the decisions is being made by the head of the household who happens to be a woman. Just curious. You don't think that they study the polls, that they study the numbers, that they know exactly who it is that's going to vote and why it's important for them to go and court you for your vote? Stand on the picket lines. There's never been a president in history to do this, but he felt desperate enough to do so, and you guys are going to fall right into the trap. And I'm amazed. How many of y'all actually went to y'all HR to find out exactly what kind of benefits you can leverage so that you can continue to prepare yourself to maybe even get out of the plant in the first place?
40% for Trump.
God bless the American worker. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Today, Mr. Biden will travel to another swing state, Wisconsin, to unveil another $5 billion worth of transportation.
This is pitiful. This is pitiful. I mean, I've been doing a lot of blogging on what's going on, but if y'all go for this, it's pitiful. Biden know he done lost all of Dearborn on the vote. He know what he done lost. The union worker, that guy is so disingenuous. He knows that those migrants are the new labor force. So you people that work in those plants, think about that. Didn't y'all want, when y'all retire, those jobs to go to y'all children? Or your grandchildren? You want them jobs to go to migrants? Because that's what the play is. If you can't see it, I mean, I don't even know. They got y'all so scared of Trump that y'all go for anything. It's going to be a wrap.
Projects stemming from the infrastructure law he passed in 2022. The latest outlays include $1 billion to replace the aging Blatnick Bridge connecting Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin, $600 million to replace the I-5 bridge connecting Vancouver, Washington to Portland, Oregon, and $300 million to build a new container terminal in the Port of New Orleans, Louisiana.
We've been reporting on the Biden team's plans to make abortion rights a key issue in this campaign, and we got another example of that yesterday. The White House announced that Kate Cox, the Texas woman whose fight to terminate a non-viable pregnancy became national news, has been invited to sit with the First Lady at the State of the Union address.
So many stupid distractions from the things that's supposed to be meaningful to you. They will sit here and talk about all of the stuff that's not even meaningful, that has literally zero impact on your life. Zero impact on your life. Yet they will completely ignore you when it comes to the things that's the most meaningful to us. And guess what that is? Closing off our borders in order to get control over the migrant crisis.
The United Auto Workers Union endorsed President Biden. UAW President Sean Fain made the announcement yesterday at the union's conference in Washington. Fain praised Biden for his record on unions and joining the picket line last year. He also railed against Donald.
And let me tell you this. The union workers don't support Biden. It's the president of the union that supports Biden. The average worker that's not their view. So think about this. This is political theater.
Trump for not supporting the UAW.
In 2019, our members were out there holding the line at GM on a national strike for 40 days.
Hey, you hear the guy in the background? Yeah, we were. We definitely held it down on the picket lines as a strike. I can't.
Cable TV be gone, how to pay way less and get more. For just a small one-time payment, you can unchain yourself.
Wait to vote either, Trav.
Trump was the sitting president. He said nothing. He did nothing, not a damn thing, because he doesn't care about the American worker. Now, here's what Trump did to help the American auto worker in our 2023 historic stand-up strike now that he's running for president. He went to a non-union plant, invited by the boss, and trashed our union. Here is what Joe Biden did during our stand-up strike. He heard the call, and he stood up, and he showed up. He joined us in solidarity on the picket line for the first time in our nation's history. A sitting president has ever done that. And this choice is clear.
Think about what he actually said. It's the first time in U.S. history a sitting president actually stood on a picking line and chose a side. Presidents never really get involved in that because they're not supposed to be the president of the union or the president of the corporation. They're supposed to be neutral. The president is supposed to be neutral. Do you understand? That's why he didn't say anything. He didn't say yay or nay. He's not supposed to get in between that. That's not his job. His job is to run the country. Foreign policy. He's not supposed to be involved in labor disputes. Don't you think that's unfair if the president picks one side over the other? They playing in your face and admitting it.
Joe Biden bet on the American worker while Donald Trump blamed the American worker. We need to know who's going to sit in the most powerful seat in the world and help us win as a united working class. So if our endorsements must be earned, Joe Biden has earned it.
Again, I want you guys to very, very, very much take a very careful look at what it is that you're voting for. And I'm not going to tell you guys who to vote for or why, because I respect the process that we have inside of the United States of America. And I believe that, it's your right and it's your vote. What I will say, though, is that I would love for you guys to make an informed decision instead of making an emotional decision. When you decide to go to the polls and when you decide to vote, I want you to vote based off of what makes sense for you and your family, and do not vote based off of a group thought or group think method. Do not. In the same way that I tell you guys, don't vote based off of what your parents told you to do back in the day. Do not vote based off of what it is that somebody else is telling you to do. And nobody, including a group, you may be in solidarity when it comes to making sure that you get certain wages. I get it. I understand it. It makes sense 100%. But you need to be in solidarity on things that benefit you individually. If something does not align with what it is that you're doing, do not let somebody bully you into doing something that you don't want to do just because they said that you were part of a group. That's the same thing that our parents did to us back in the day. They told us, they said, look.
I'm going to end on that one. Shout out to Anton Daines for his take on it. But I'm not going to keep it too long. Why? I mean, think about what he really said. Don't think about like what I said or even what Anton said. Think about what the guy said. The first time in history of this country, a sitting president took a side in labor disputes, while at the same time opened the border for immigrants looking for work. Cheap labor. I mean, it's in your face. It's in your face. You tell me what would make a president of a union come out at this hour and say that the whole union supports Joe Biden, and that's a lie. My family is is auto workers. They're not supporting Biden. Just because he did a photo shoot, and then Biden is not even cognitive. Who put him there? Who thought that up? Biden don't even be remembering where he's at. Who thought that up and who strategic plan was it for that? And why? You know why? Because of the war, he's lost all of Dearborn and all of the Muslim votes in Michigan. They're not going to vote for him regardless. So to try to swing Michigan, who is even open to entertain this guy But the heads of the union, they selling out. Allegedly. Detroit's HPTV, sounding to you out of Detroit. Y'all better keep y'all head on the swivel. Y'all better raise up and watch the pitch. The next one gonna be a son of a